Welcome everyone, my name is Nick Sonnenfeld and I'm here today to give a short presentation on behalf of the Safety Department. I appreciate your time and patience in advance. If you could please hold questions till the end, I will be happy to answer each of them to the best of my ability. Now let's begin. In a recent walkthrough of the metalworking area, one of our safety managers observed some issues surrounding our employees' use of portable grinders in the course of their work. As such, I've prepared a short cost-benefit analysis presentation to present the background to the hazards of grinding, some statistics concerning them, and an analysis of the average cost of an injury associated with grinder operation. I will then conclude with a cost-benefit analysis of the recommended course of action to offset our risks to operation. What is abrasive grinding? So grinding is a process of using a high-speed tool with an attached abrasive wheel to either cut or finish metal or other surfaces. The use of portable grinders comes with associated risks. I'll cover 4 of the primary risks here. First, grinders can create airborne particles that can be irritating to the respiratory tract and eyes. Grinders can also kick back during use and discs can become damaged or break apart. That poses a physical threat to the hands, eyes, and other extremities due to being struck. Grinders produce vibrations, and repeated use causes concern for ergonomic hazards in the form of musculoskeletal injury. And last, grinders can produce a significant amount of noise during use. Unprotected ears can then be damaged from repeated exposure to the noise. Some statistics for consideration. Grinders have the potential to easily produce immediate physical damage. There have been some studies conducted over emergency visits concerning high-speed cutting tools. Of the 8,697 emergency room department visits reviewed in this study, 4,603 were from high-speed grinders, and 85% of those injuries occurred at work. 46.4% of the injuries were to the hand, and almost 35% ranged from moderate to severe. And as we can see, lacerations to the hand are a common result of grinder injuries. So now we're going to look at time loss and direct costs associated with grinder injury. One important note before we look at numbers in the average return to work time associated with grinder injuries to the hand and forearm. One study found an average return to work time of 7 weeks, but the range of return to work time is from as little as 2 weeks to a high of 32 weeks. We can also look at some of the costs associated with surgery and medical care for grinder injuries. A study examining these injuries reviewed multiple cases. The lowest cost associated was $7,147, and the highest surgical medical cost was $153,000. OSHA violations are another direct cost associated with injuries. In 2 OSHA cases reviewed, the cost of violations of the settlement ranged from $4,500 to $1,800. Now we're going to look at the total cost of injury estimates. We can observe an estimated range of the overall cost for one injury. So we'll use the OSHA sliding scale to estimate the indirect cost associated with the direct costs. Then we're going to add those 2 numbers to obtain a total. Estimate 1 is a combination of our lowest medical and violation costs. So $8,947 and an indirect cost of $10,736. After calculating, we find a low total cost of $19,683. Estimate 2 is a combination of our highest medical and violation costs. So $161,096 and an indirect cost of $177,205. After we add those together, we get a total high cost of $338,000. For our third estimate, we're going to use OSHA's safety pay calculator for laceration injury, which is one of the most common grinder injuries. The total given when we use laceration injury for an estimate 3 is $45,931. We end up with a mean of about $135,000 and a median of $45,931. Based on these numbers, I have chosen $50,000 as an average total cost for the further slides. Now we're going to look at our chosen estimated total costs. We can use an accident cost table to use the total cost of an injury to estimate the amount of revenue required to pay for total loss. The profit margin of 1 to 5% gives us a revenue range required of $1 to $5 million. We will assume an average profit margin of 2.5%. This equates to $2.5 million to recover from an accident with a cost of $50,000. I've determined two major portions to a solid risk reduction plan for our workplace. The first step is improvement in our safety training program. And the first part of the plan will be evaluation by our current safety team to find out our shortcomings in training and implementation. As we were observing violations in the workplace, we have some work to do there. This cost is already part of our current safety manager's salaries, so we will assume no net increase in cost for this step. We will also add a supplementary online training program administered by a third-party provider called HIS. The cost for our 75 employees is $4,000 per year for 10 training courses. And the wages for 75 employees to attend 10 one-hour training sessions is $16,500 a year, assuming an average hourly salary of about $20 an hour. The second portion of our plan will be to improve our materials and PPE program. First, there will be installation of an equipment vending machine. This will allow organized distribution and proper selection of tools such as grinder discs. We'll be able to track usage and ensure employees are using the approved parts. This cost should technically not increase because if we use a vendor such as Fastenal, we can find that the cost of the vending machine is included in our parts contract with them. We will also provide employees with the following PPE. A face shield and leather-armed welding jacket on a biennial basis, 4 pairs of heavy welding gloves per year, and 1 pair of earplugs per week. We can see the individual costs here. They add up to a yearly cost of PPE for $13,728 per year for all 75 employees together. So we've looked at our costs and we've looked at our benefits. We're going to look now at our benefits per year. So as we previously determined, the benefit of offsetting just one grinder injury equates to $50,000. The total costs added from the previous slide concerning our plans to improve grinder safety with our training program and our PPE program is going to cost $34,228. So just using some simple math, 50,000 minus 34,228.50 equals a total savings of $15,771 per year. If we implemented this program over an initial period of 3 years, we would be looking at a savings of $47,314 for that 3-year period. So in conclusion, spending on decreasing the hazards we currently have associated with our grinder use would be more than offset by the cost benefit we receive from them. I found there's 3 key takeaways from this presentation that I'd like you to take with you. Number 1 is we would see an average annual savings each year of $15,000. However, the revenue required to offset just one grinder injury at an average cost is in excess of $2.5 million. And if we had actually used the most expensive injuries caused by grinders, it'd be significantly more in revenue to recover from. In the instance of the most expensive injury in the study that I reviewed for this, we would require $15 million in revenue to offset our losses from an accident of that level. So I thank you all for your time in this manner. Any questions or comments can be directed to our safety team. We're looking forward to helping our company and our workforce move forward toward a safer and more profitable future. Thank you.